Hello and welcome. This video is going to be a what sold video from me, and it's going to be everything that sold during the week of February 8th to February 14th. I am trying to catch up. Please bear with me. So we're going to skid over here, and as always we're going to start with our lowest performing platform first and work our way up to eBay because eBay is my main bay. And I sold this Bob Mackie piece on Etsy. This is a vintage Y2K jacket. It was new with tags, and it was something that I found at a thrift store for, I believe, $5. You can see I modeled it here. It was an extra small, but it was like a very roomy extra small. It was like a Free People type of extra small. Super cute, beautiful spring piece, and I'm glad that it moved on to a new home. This is something that I definitely needed to cross post before I finally found a place to go. Over here, I also only made one sale on Poshmark, and that is going to be this Bordeaux piece. This is also new with tags. I did find a stock photo for that. You see I put it for the second picture. I definitely feel like it needed it because this was also oversized, and I have had this for a while, way before I had Karen. If I had had Karen when I originally took photographs of this picture, I probably wouldn't have used the stock photo. But it still sold, and it sold for $25 on Poshmark, and I am very grateful for every sale I get on a platform that is not eBay, because normally it's something I've had for a really long time. So this was great. Then we're gonna move over here again. Doop. And then we're gonna stay here for a while because I have quite a few sales to share with you on eBay. So this is a rag and bone piece. The reason why I sold this for $10 and was perfectly happy with that was because this had a hole in it that I repaired. And this is a shawl collar cardigan I found at Diversity Thrift for Thriftmas, and I paid $3.75 for this. So I doubled my money, and something didn't go landfill, and I was able to repair something, which I really like doing. This is a vintage Edgar case on religion and the psychic experience. I talked before on my video of how to be successful selling books not on Amazon, and I talked about how both religious and psychic text can be worth money and also really great to pick up. This had both, so it sold for $5 and I paid 25 cents for this at the bins. This is a Zwilling J.A. Hinkle's storage block, and this is a great brand. If you can get the actual German knives, there's two different divisions of this. So there's like the super expensive Hinkle's knives that have like the double dude on them. There's two lines of this type of knifeware. There is the main brand, which is the super expensive, made in Germany, really fine chef knives. And those are worth picking up and exceptionally valuable. And then there is the subline that they sell at like Walmart and Target and those kind of places. And those are the affordable versions of the same knives, and they are not as good quality. But both are worth picking up if you can get them really cheap. One of them obviously you can pay up for and make good money from. But I found this block for $4 at a Goodwill, and I sold it for $20, and this was great. Even though this was heavy, I still knew that it was worth picking up. It had a few dings on it. These are great because, again, if they're buying like the super expensive knives, like it's $200 for a knife. So sometimes people just get the blocks and like slowly build up their set instead of, you know, shelling out a couple $1,000s for an actual set. It's expensive. I've talked about how I love selling vintage clothing, and even if there is no brand, I will still pick it up if it is the right piece. Vintage puffers I will pick up all the time. These reversible puffers sometimes will not have a brand on them because the tag gets removed. It's normally a tearaway tag. It's either going to be a tearaway tag that gets removed because it's a reversible item, or it's going to be a tag that's inside one of the pockets. So that way it doesn't matter which side it's on, you're not going to have the tag showing. So if you see a piece that's reversible, regardless if it's a puffer or if it's a jacket or if it's a shirt, if it has a pocket, check in the pockets to see, one, you know, if you're lucky and there's money in there. Two, to take all the nasty tissues that might be in there out, and then 3, to see if there's a brand tag to help you sell it. But with enough keywords, and again, if it's the right piece, it will still sell. And this sold for $27, and the buyer of course paid for shipping, and I paid like $5 for that at a thrift store. I have sold White Stag. If you did not know, White Stag is a Walmart brand, and this is vintage White Stag. I picked this up because this is from the 80s. It was made in the USA, and it was a pair of purple plaid pants. And I've talked about purple people love purple. And yeah, and these sold for my full asking price of $14.87. So I made really good money because I think I only paid like a couple dollars for these at a thrift store. And so like I made at least $10 off of a Walmart brand, a vintage Walmart brand. So I thought this was great. This is a pair of Gimme Felice Umo. That is not correct, and I am so sorry. But these, I think, came in a thread-up box, and I was very excited when I finally looked up comps for these because, as you can see, they're really good. This thread-up box was probably the best shoe box I've ever received from them. And I was really grateful for this because it sold for $50 on an offer, and the buyer paid for shipping. I did have to wait a while because, you know, I got that shoebox like last year, and it took about 6 months for them to sell, but for $50 it was great. So that renewed my hope in that maybe shoeboxes are something that I can pick up again from thredUP, because I had a rash of not great ones. I never lost money on them, but I never really made money on them. This one I made money on. I was like absolutely ecstatic when I found this at the bin for 25 cents. Now this one was in rough shape. Like, it was torn up and taped up, and it had fudgesicle on a couple of the pages. And I still bought it because, one, it was a quarter at the bins, and two, because I know these Nintendo adventure books can be valuable. If this was in a much better condition, like if this was in like, even if it didn't have the fudgesicle in it, and if it wasn't like taped up and torn up, even if it had like folds in it and stuff, it could have sold for like over $20, and it's just a little tiny paperback. But these Nintendo adventure books and the Nintendo Power books, both of those are really great pickups. They're normally like really small. They're normally in the kids section, or, you know, if they're at the bins, they're at the bottom somewhere because they're really small books. Tiny books can be worth some of the Nintendo Power books, like if you get the rare games, like the NES, like the really rare Nintendo games, books for those, they can be like well over $50 to $75. So I always look for those when I'm looking in the book section. I do peruse the kids section in the hope I find these. So even torn up and fudgesicled, this sold for $7.90. So that was awesome. I was just so ecstatic about that. You're like, you're so happy about $7? Yes, because I've never found one of these before. So it was like something I always look for. And even though it was in crappy shape, I was still like super grateful I was able to find one finally. Because if you find one, chances are you'll find it again. This is a pair of Levi's 527s. I know about this particular style being valuable from Matt's Manifesto. Menswear Manifesto. I call it the Manifesto because it's easy. And he has a breakdown in it of all the different men's styles of jeans. So I knew that this one was worth picking up because bootcut is in. And it sold for $20, and I paid $8 for this at a thrift store. So not a big profit, but decent. This next item is something I picked up when I was in California, when I got an opportunity to thrift at the bins in California with Courtney at Comment Tags. And I picked these up because I love picking up my vintage wool skirts because they sell for me. This actually had a great brand beside it. It had a great brand on it, and it sold for $20. Now the bins in California was like $2.09 a pound. And this was a little bit less than a pound, so I probably paid about $2 for the skirt and sold it for $20, so that was great. I have, in addition to like the Nintendo Power books and the Nintendo Adventure books, the books that I pick up very consistently are the Choose Your Own Adventure books, but the vintage ones, so the ones from the 70s and 80s, those are the ones I pick up. I don't really pick up modern Choose Your Own Adventure books, but the vintage ones I will pick up, and I picked this up at the bins for 25 cents, and it sold for $4.14. They normally sell for that much. If you get more of them, of course, you can sell them for more, but between, you know, $5 to $10 is what you can get for them. I've also talked about how much I love selling vintage cookbooks, and this sold for $3.87, and I paid 25 cents for this at the bins. And this sale is amazing. I'll link this video up above. It's a Thriftmas video, and I found like mid-century gold at this restore. So I've realized from y'all's comments that the restores in my area are an anomaly. It's not something that all restores have, but the restores in my area in Williamsburg and Newport News are great places to find items to resell. And I was about ready to give up going through this Newport News thrift store, because unfortunately the one in Newport News and in the one in Williamsburg, they both like to look stuff up on eBay, but they don't look everything up. People can't know everything. And I saw these on the shelf with Tamak pottery as well, and they were on the same shelf, and they were priced between $1 and $2 for both the Tamak and also for these plates. And I like scooped them all up. I was like shaking at this point, trying to get a cart and like zoom in really fast before someone could try to get them, because I was like, I'm buying all of this. And all that to say, I finally found this bolo for restaurant wear. I love buying and selling restaurant wear. I love trying to save as much American pottery as possible. And so when I saw these Syracuse China airbrush longhorn oval plates, I wanted to cry. I was so happy. I found actually 7 of these. One of them had a little tiny chip in them, but I just put them all up for sale. Someone bought 4 of them for almost $40 a piece, plus paid for shipping. So I sold 4 plates. I paid $8 in total for those 4 plates, and I sold them for $159.48. So that was awesome. If you see, so in addition to this longhorn pattern, there's also a boot pattern and a cowboy hat pattern, and these come in this brown color, green, and red. Hello, Editing Bob here. Just to let you know, there are actually 2 other patterns in this collection. One is a saddle, and one is with all 4 of the pieces together, and those 2 are actually more valuable than the longhorn, the boot, and the cowboy hat, because they're more rare. So I just want to let you know there's actually 5 in this collection. Again, they only come in brown, red, and green, but there are actually 5 different patterns. I just have never seen the saddle and the one with all the symbols in person before. So just an addendum, be on the lookout for all of those, and they're all made by Syracuse China. So if you see any of those, they're valuable. Pick them up if you can. It is worth it, obviously. So that was an amazing score. That was just like, that was an amazing, perfect thrift day. I was like, I had a gut feeling. I was like, you know what, today's the day I'm gonna go to the restore. I haven't been there in a while, and every time I've had that feeling and gone to that restore, I have found something amazing. This is a pair of Athleta, actually jeans. I didn't know that they made jeans, but they do. And I actually found these when I was in California doing regular Goodwill thrifting. Regular thrifting in California is as expensive as the California resellers say, but I still picked these up. I felt like it's worth paying up for $12 because I saw comps between the $30 and $40 range, and they sold for $35. So I normally wouldn't pay up for them like that in my area, but this particular pair I did, and it was worth it. Also because it's tall size, and I am a tall lady, so I know how valuable that tee is, both for men and for women. So I picked those up for sure. This I paid $1 for at an estate sale. It was a 5th and Ocean Cincinnati red raglan. It was a big t-shirt lot. I just bought a bunch of them together. They were $1 to $2 depending on whatever the whim of the estate sale person was. So really happy that this sold. This I also picked up for Thriftmas. This I picked up at the yard sale, which is a little thrift store in Newport News. It sold for a full asking price of $9.87, and it was brand new. I will pick up new CDs when I see them at the thrift. I do go and look. One, because I also personally have a couple of holes in my CD collection I would like to fill, and also for resale as well. Another item I picked up in California, so what is it? These are February. I went to California in October, so it took 4 months for a couple of these pieces to sell, but that's all right. This was a New It Tags Prana piece, and I paid $6 for this at a thrift store in California, and it sold for my full asking price of $19.87. This is an Intimately Free People. Even in an extra small size, this bodysuit sold, and it sold for $10.50. I just wanted to try selling a bodysuit because it's not something that I would buy for myself, but because it was an Intimately Free People item, I figured I'd give it a go. I paid like, I think $3 for this, and it sold for $10.50. This is a Maeve piece by Anthropologie. I don't pick up all Maeve pieces, but if I think that they're beautiful and they're recent, beautiful or recent, I will pick them up. And it sold for $14.87, and I just thought that this was gorgeous. It was a beautiful orange piece with like eyelet lace, which is beautiful. This is a sale. This is a set of 6 Libby juice glasses. Even these little tiny juice glasses can be worth picking up. I paid $3 for all of them. And I had these for a while before I finally got around to selling them. I did finally get around to listing them thanks to my Money Pile Monday, and they sold for $18.59. And of course the buyer had to pay for shipping. But I'm again really glad to save some vintage stuff from getting smashed in trash and also turn a profit at the same time. And sunflowers just make me happy. So normally if it's got a sunflower on it, I'm going to pick it up. This is a Duluth Trading turtleneck. I am still hoping that one day I will find some Duluth Trading that I can keep. Anytime I find something in my size or in a color that I really like, it's either too big or too small, or it's a turtleneck. And I cannot wear stuff around my neck. I will break out in hives. That's more information that you need to know for an item that sold for $12. I paid like $4.50 for this, and I'm glad it's moving on to a new home. This next item is a viewer sale. Gina, thank you very much. She bought this golden bee cross stitch with frame kit from me for $4.75. And Gina, I have to give you a big extra thank you because this is one of the first items I picked up, you know, 3.5 years ago when I decided I wanted to be a reseller when I was still part-time and working my full-time job. So I paid $1 for this. And I'm just so grateful that you purchased something for me that I've literally had forever. And it's hopefully off to a good home. I don't know if this is something that you're going to put together yourself or it's something to give as a gift. But Gina, thank you very much, and I hope you like it. This is a New Belgium shirt. I actually picked this up for $3 at a thrift store, and that is because at the Goodwills in my area, if you buy 2 t-shirts, you get each for $3.10. So I actually bought this t-shirt to get another t-shirt for less money. And I did that because I know that brewery shirts sell very quickly for me. I have not been able to keep any of them in stock, and it sold again very quickly for me for $5. So I didn't make a whole lot of money, but I was able to get another shirt for cheaper that would sell for more money, and then this one went, I got my money back plus some profit in the interim, so that was good. This is a new yoga journal. I picked this up at the bins for 25 cents. I've talked about that. One of my favorite things to find at the bins are new unused journals. I've had great luck selling them, and with a buy cost of 50 cents or less, I cannot go wrong, to be honest. And this sold for $14.87, and the buyer paid for shipping. I was just like, I was so surprised that it sold as quickly as it did. Also, this was like an intense journal when I actually like looked at it before I was listing it. So I hope this person, new year, knew them and is giving them all their fitness goals or helping them achieve their fitness goals. But it sold for my full asking price, and this was a great sale. This is another viewer sale. Cheryl, thank you very much for purchasing this from me. Again, this is a new unused journal, but this was specifically for Ancestry, where you could put in a a picture of your ancestor and then talk about the family and then also like who they're related to and who they married. It was a really neat piece. Second bought, I got 2 of these. Second bought the first one and then Cheryl bought this one. So this is really nice, and Cheryl, I hope you love it and that I hope you've been able to work on filling that out and learn a little bit more about your family, or at least have a nice keepsake so that way you can teach others about your family, and I really appreciate you buying this from me. This is something I picked up at the bins. This was actually in the books and this was a new with tags Spartina clutch. And Spartina, if you can get the big embroidered totes, those can be worth quite a bit of money. This was just a faux leather clutch and it sold for $20. I paid $1 for this, so this was awesome. This is a huge viewer sale to Donna, which I find very apropos because Donna, my friend Donna, who is the mother of my goddaughter Freya, she gave me all of these Mickeys, and then Donna, Puffles, friend of the channel, bought most of them from me. And she also bought this Roger Zelazny book, this new Prince of Chaos. It's one of the Chronicles of Amber's books. She bought this for $6.87 and I bought this for $1 at a thrift store. And then she spent $40.22 to buy all of these Mickeys from me. So Donna, thank you very much. I'm so glad that they went to a really good home. They were actually, like I said, my friend's Donna's when she was younger, and so now they've just moved on to another Donna's home, and I hope that you like them. Also, I know you guys were upset that there was no Miss Moxie in the last video. I promise she was just sleeping on my lap, but here she is now, and she will be here probably for the rest of the video. I think she was sleeping and realized that I was in here recording, so here she is. She's good. She's happy. So this is great because this is about roughly the end of the video. This is the last thing I have to share with you guys. This is another thing I picked up in California. It sold for $4.87. This is a San Diego Comic-Con brochure from the event from 2010, and I actually got this for free. The thrift store, this was one of Matt's hidey holes that he doesn't share and he took me there, which is really nice of him. And they gave both of us all of our books for free and then charged us like almost nothing for everything else that we got. So Matt, if you're watching this, cat hair, she's shedding. Thank you very much for sharing your spot with me. It was awesome to hang out with you and to thrift with you, and I'm glad that this moved on to a new home. But that is everything I have to share with you guys for this week. Sales have slowed down a little bit, but I think that's just because I got sick, so I wasn't really doing a whole lot. And again, I am trying to catch up. I am feeling a lot better now. Weather is cooperating by actually being nice, which helps me out a lot with my SAD. So hopefully we're gonna have bunches of videos for the rest of the month and I will get everything caught up. But I hope you guys learned something or at least got some work done while you're watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye. Bye. Hero, I wanna be a hero.